Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Fox Ridge Philately, episode 14. It is Sunday, December 22nd, and we just got back from a nice walk in the woods up back around the house in the trails that we have up through the Hemlock Ravine and some of the hardwoods. It's really beautiful up in there. We had quite a snowfall, really, starting Friday night into Saturday, so yesterday, and it blew around a bit. And we probably got close to 15 centimeters, I guess. It's less than what was forecast. Originally, they were forecasting closer perhaps to 25 or even 30 centimeters of snow. But my understanding is it shifted a little bit away from us and gave us a nice wintry kind of dump and look to it, but not enough to be too debilitating. This is a follow-up, I guess, from my last episode where I was showing you some of my Romanian stamps and plans for that, and I've been working away at that this week, and I've got a couple of stock books here filled for now of what I have for Romania, so I thought I'd show that to you, so you get a sense of where I'm going with that, and spots that I really need to continue on. A lot of it early on, of course, with Romania. There's lots of room for improvement. And this is the book. I've mentioned this one before too, and I showed it to you, like Paul Kenyon, Children of the Night. When I showed you before, I was just starting it, and I'm getting close to the end. I'll have that finished hopefully in the next day or so, I suspect. And it's a nice bookmark that my daughter gave me, so I'm using that. Really, really good read. Predominantly on the 19th and 20th century of Romania, and early on it does speak of Vlad Tepes, excuse me, the Impaler, as you may know him, or Dracula, as you may know him, and his father, and the early history around that, and then skips forward quite a bit and goes into the 19th and 20th century, but it's very, very fascinating. I'm learning a lot about Romania through this. I'd recommend that book. Okay. This is the stock book, and this stock book goes up to 1990, and I've left blanks in it. As you can see, the first stamps of Romania, I have nothing there. But I left blanks so that there's room to add, and I didn't do that in the second stock book. When I may do that, who knows, down the road if I have more of the more recent issues to add into it. But you get a sense here of how things are looking. And I've added in I use Scott catalog, so Scott catalog number and the issue date for each of the stamps here. And some of them I have also a catalog value. This is quite a nice set from 1903 that I like. And I won't show you all the pages, but you can see where I'm at perhaps. And heck, I'm always looking for extras for fillers. If you ever have any Romanian stamps kicking around. Pretty good there. 1906 up to 19 teens and late teens into the 20s. You see it gets thinner in places, Prince Michael. And I really enjoyed learning about the monarchy of Romania and the various kings and queens right up to when it became a republic. And that's the part that really interested me. But I was surprised actually how much the early communist stage of Romania gripped my attention too. So the post-World War II, and in World War II, Romania had sided with Germany and Italy, and then things, of course, weren't going so well after a while, especially after Stalingrad. So then they conceded and flipped to the Allies, and they're pushed right back into Romania, and the Soviets kept right on coming. And of course, Romania became a communist country for many years until late 80s and early 90s when communism collapsed. Nice set there. So yeah, there's lots of space here, a lot of blanks. And lots of studying to do if I really want to learn more about some of the stamps here and who is on them. I checked out some of them. Especially some of those definitives early on. Make sure I get my kings and empresses and so on correct. So yeah, there's blanks here into the 40s, and now we're into the 50s. You can see a distinct change in the style of stamps that were issued, much like other Eastern Bloc countries of the time. So early 50s, virtually nothing in there. mid-50s and so on. This is a nice fauna set right there. Mid-50s. Well, then it picks up a little more. Now we're into 1960. Some of the Olympic sets. Quite a nice set here. 1962. And these are typical of the 60s into the 70s in Romania. I know Hungary and Bulgaria as well. You'd see something similar. I would find the topics they would come up with, or the ideas for the issues were a little less unique, perhaps. This is one of the sets, and see their CTO is canceled to order. You can see that quite clearly. That's one of the sets I picked up in Bucharest at a souvenir shop of all places. And no, not of any particular value, but actually it's kind of a neat set. It has the, I think they're the fairy tales, I think it is, of Romania. So it's kind of cool. Yeah, and then lots more blanks here too. So I'm just skipping a few pages and so on. 1972. That's a nice definitive set. I enjoy definitives now, and I think I mentioned that before, thanks to Ken's Stamp Collection, great YouTube channel. You might want to check that out. He collects definitives, and has really sparked my interest in some of the definitive sets as well. And this is the second stock book. Now this one, so this is from 1991 on, and you see I've done it a little bit differently. I just put them all together. I didn't leave spaces to add in between issues. So for instance, this is Scott Catalog 3646, April 1991, 3679 right next to it. So there's a gap of 25 issues in there, but I didn't leave that gap also for 1991. So I just collected them all in one spot. Like the show jumping one there. And again, lots here to check out. And those are, I showed you that set previously as well. Picked those up at Pellish Castle. It's in just outside the town of Sinaia as you're getting into the Carpathian Mountains. And there's Castle Pellish there. So we visited and toured that castle. Used by the royalty of Romania for many years. Completed in 1914. And then some recent 2024 issues. 2023. I picked those up at a post office. The postal worker and I were able to figure each other out, even though I did not speak Romanian. She did not speak English very well at all, but through pointing and nodding, we understood each other. And then I've got the back of the book stuff here for what I have. So semi-postals, and then the airmail stamps and postage due and some occupation stamps and so on. So quite nice semi-postals here. A nice set there. A fairly good start on the semi-postals. I left a little bit of gap, but not enough for each issue. And then the airmails or air post stamps here. Nice set here. And more air post stamps. The birds. It's kind of an attractive set. And certainly when you see something such as this, you could see how that would have a influence from the Soviet Union, now being part of the communist bloc in Eastern Europe. the influence of the Soviet Union is in there. And then, yeah, postage dues. Nice set here. I picked those up recently from a friend of mine down the other end of the valley. And more postage dues. And then a couple of stamps here, the best as I can figure out, is from the city of Oradea, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and I may not be. My Romanian's not very good. But they're kind of unique. And these are some of the occupation stamps. So it was occupied by the Hungarians, Austrians, and then and then the Germans and the Hungarians. So I have them in the correct order. Can't remember for sure, but nice setup here. You see the overprints. So occupation stamps. And these were listed as prisoner of war stamps from 1946 to be used by POWs. I'll just pull one out so you get a sense of it there. And you could correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm often wrong in these things. It's got an overprint on it. These were Cinderella's International Agricultural Exhibition 1954, so you won't find them in Scott, but I was able to track them down by Googling and figure out what they were. You can see the outline of Romania there on the stamp issues themselves. And then following that, I've got any of the mini souvenir sheets and so on. And I've laid them out again by Scott catalog number and the year. And ones that were from a previous collection that I purchased, he had already given them the value, so I use that. So you see some of them have a value on it, and there none in here are any terrific value, but just nice to have them all in one location. Fix that a little bit. National Cycling Championships, 1986, Romania. Some flora and fauna. European Soccer Championships, for football championships, as I would say, in Europe, of course. And handballs, oh, sorry, those are the tennis ones. There's handball ones somewhere, I remember seeing too. So this is representing the 4 tennis majors of Australian Open and Roland Garros in France and Wimbledon and the US Open, Flushing Meadows. And these are a couple that I'd picked up in Romania when we were there last month as well. World Philatelic Exhibition, 2007. I really like this one here, 2008. I've shown that one previously. Picked this up at Pellish Castle as well. And difficult for me to pronounce, Iuliu Maniu, who comes up a lot in the book. He died in 1873 to 1953. So he had quite a hand in Romania's history in mid-century or so, mid-20th century. And then we have, let's see here, some air post, some semi-postals, mini sheets, more air post, CCCP. So clearly there's your Soviet influence again in those ones. And then I got lots of room for expansion in this too. So that's what I have so far for Romania. And I'd like to be able to add more to it, especially in that first stock book that you saw, and be able to fill in lots of those gaps. And these are, again, the more recent ones. So if you ever looking to hand off or get rid of some Romanian stamps you got kicking around, I'd be happy to take them off of your hands. It's not about investment for me, it's about the learning and the organizing and just the joy of the hobby. And I hope you are enjoying your hobby as well, wherever you might be, whether it's a wintry, snowy day like it is here, or you're in the heat and the sunshine. Good for you. You take good care, and we'll chat again soon.